how does former NBA All-Star Caron Butler play Monopoly? Why is everyone so concerned about your noggin during sports? And what exactly is a lame duck? I'm Bethany Van Delft, and we'll get to all this and more on today's The 10 News, the show where in the time it takes to pass go and collect $200, we find out what's up in the world. Okay, let's get into the 10 news.
10,
9, 8, 7, 6,
5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
I bet you've heard the expression lame duck used recently. It may sound strange, but our correspondent Pamela Kirkland can explain.
President Trump still hasn't conceded the election to President-elect Joe Biden, which, if you listened to last week's episode, you know means he hasn't said he knows that he lost the presidential election and the transition to a new president has started.
Really?
But whether he concedes or not, what happens next is the president enters a period where he's referred to as a lame duck. It's a weird thing to call someone, I know. So, what is a lame duck president?
I think it's a duck that somehow got in the government that's really lame.
Maybe when something's not true.
Duck pheasant.
Sadly, it has nothing to do with those cute, quacky little birds. And actually, any politician can be called a lame duck, not just the president. It means that either that person's time in office is coming to an end or they lost an election. Calling them a lame duck just means they don't have the authority that they did before because their term is coming to an end and more attention is put on the person getting ready to assume power. But where did the term lame duck even come from? The Denver Post traced it back to England in the 1700s to describe a person who owed a lot of money.
Oh, bother.
Waddling out of the alley like a lame duck. In politics, Abraham Lincoln may have been the first politician to use the term. But whether it's a lame duck, a sitting duck, or a rubber chicken, politics has a language all its own.
Thanks, Pamela. And shout outs to our friends Sasha, Owen, and Zach for helping us out. For professional athletes, hard work can lead to fame and fortune. But being mindful with money makes sense no matter who you are. See what I did there? Our correspondent Ryan Nurse spoke with special guest Caron Butler about investing in the future.
Have you ever imagined what it's like to be a pro athlete? The roar of the crowd, the adoring fans, the superhuman physical feats. Well, this guy knows all about that.
It's an amazing feeling because it's a dream come true. You know, you work your entire pretty much life to attain and, try to pursue a dream.
That's Caron Butler, a two-time NBA All-Star who retired 2 years ago after 14 years in the league, which means he has another thing pro athletes get a lot of: money. But it doesn't always last. Statistics say 60% of NBA players go broke after 5 years of leaving the league, which is why Butler knew he had to think ahead.
It was important for me to start building on, my second act while I was in the height of my first one.
And by second act, he means retirement. As Butler started thinking about life beyond basketball, he knew he didn't want to return to the poverty of his youth, growing up in Racine, Wisconsin.
I was broke, as the young folks would say. And, when you talk about lack of resources, we add that times 10.
So, unlike some of his fellow ballers, Butler started saving while playing. By the time he left the league, he owned multiple businesses. Now, with a podcast and a YouTube channel, he's become a vocal advocate for financial literacy, which is a fancy way of saying being smart about your money.
The big thing is about investing and preserving and finding a way to get, more cash flow going down the line and for the foreseeable future.
Butler has also been passing on this financial knowledge to his 5 kids. As a family, they play a Monopoly-like game called in-home banking.
We play it often. My family and my kids are able to understand that, the importance of saving, the importance of taxes. You can't buy everything, and they learn how to manage.
Well, it's encouraging to know that even the kids of a former pro basketball player are learning about savings. But do they get an allowance?
Sometimes when they work, they have chores, they have demands that's placed on them in this house, they have to, stay committed to academics.
In the end, what's most important to Butler is that his children use their financial literacy to end up with more opportunities than he had as a kid. So, according to Caron Butler, it doesn't matter whether you have a future career as a pro athlete, your financial career should start now.
Start moving the needle on making that necessary change in your generation or in your family or in your household and in your life.
Great advice. And congratulations to Caron Butler for recently being named assistant coach of his former team, defending Eastern Conference champions, the Miami Heat. Way to go, Caron. Speaking of success stories, Kim Ng made history on November 13th when she became the first female general manager of a Major League Baseball team, the Florida Marlins. She comes to the job with more than 30 years of experience and was previously the highest-ranking Asian American female executive in baseball.
You go, girl.
We wish her the best of luck in her trailblazing role. You know it's important to wear a helmet when you ride your bike, scooter, or skateboard, right? I know you know that. But why are grown-ups so concerned about your head when you play soccer, lacrosse, or volleyball? Let's check in with Friends of the 10, Kenny Curtis, to find out.
If you play sports, you've probably heard adults talking about concussions. So many people, parents, coaches, professional athletes, are discussing the risks of contact sports and the likelihood of brain injuries. So you might be wondering, why is everybody so worried about my head? And what exactly is a concussion anyway? Well, according to the CDC, a concussion is a type of traumatic brain injury caused by a bump, a blow, or a jolt to the head that makes the brain move rapidly back and forth inside of your skull. Concussion symptoms differ from person to person. Some people experience confusion, headaches, and blurry vision, but some don't. Some people might be perfectly fine at first and not have any symptoms for hours or even days after the collision. Many people think that brain injuries are only a problem in football, but they actually occur in all contact sports. Lacrosse, soccer, basketball, and ice hockey feature high rates of concussions, especially among youth and student athletes. Concussions are an issue for both male and female student athletes. In fact, girls actually have a higher rate of concussions in youth soccer, basketball, and cheerleading. Recent studies show that 10% of all contact sport athletes experience at least one concussion per year. So that means if you have 10 players on your soccer team, statistically speaking, one of them is going to get a concussion this year, at least.
Ouch!
As a result, more and more people are working hard to create guidelines that help keep players safe. You've probably heard a lot of talk about concussions and football. The NFL has made several rule changes to try to reduce brain injuries. They've made hits to the head illegal, researched different helmet designs and safety features, and educated players and coaches on concussion protocol. But with concussions and chronic traumatic encephalopathy, commonly known as CTE, continuing to rise, it remains a big problem in the NFL. And football isn't the only sport committed to reducing head injuries. In 2015, the U.S. Soccer Federation made heading the ball illegal for kids 10 and under. And although this changes the feel of the game, it is helping protect younger players from dangerous head injuries. So yeah, this concussion thing is kind of a big deal. The brain is the most complex organ in the human body, and there's still a lot we don't know about it. You might hear your parents, coaches, and even professional athletes and commentators talk about brain injuries. So follow their advice and make sure to be safe when playing sports. How else can you help? Be aware of the signs of a concussion. If you feel disoriented after any type of collision, tell a coach or adult. Don't continue playing if you're feeling funny. Above all else, keep having fun. Sports are a great way to make friends, work hard, and stay healthy. You want to protect yourself, but don't be so afraid of getting hurt that you miss out on all the great things that sports can bring to your life. Just do your part to keep your head as safe as possible.
It's time for your trivia question of the day. What caused the extinction of one particular type of North American plum tree? Was it A, too many people used the tree as a bathroom? B, the trees were used to make toilet paper during the coronavirus shortage? Or C, genetically modified mosquitoes ate all of the trees? Did you guess it? The answer is A. The last known cluster of the Graves Beach plum tree grew on a beach in Connecticut that must have been lacking a public restroom. So many beachgoers used the shady grove of trees to relieve themselves that the excess nitrogen caused the trees to go extinct.
Oh, gross!
Guys, come on. Ugh, what a way to go. And time is up. That's the end of the 10 for today, but you can catch new episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The 10 News is a co-production of Small But Mighty Media in collaboration with Next Chapter Podcasts and distributed by iHeartRadio. The 10 News writing team is led by editorial director Tracy Crooks, with contributions from Stephen Tompkins, Pamela Kirkland, Ryan Nurs, and Kenny Curtis. The creative producer is Jenner Pasqua. Marketing is led by Jacob Bronstein, with social media and web support by Stephen Tompkins and Adam Farr. Editing and sound design by Pete Musto, under the production direction of Jeremiah Tittle. Executive producer Donald Albright and show creator Tracy Leeds Kaplan round out the team. If you have questions about the show, a story idea, or just a fun fact you want to share, email us at hello@the10news.com. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the 10 News on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Bethany Van Delft, and thanks for listening to the 10 News. Now go hug a tree that no one relieved themselves on. I mean, come on. Blech.